They love to talk about civil rights heroes, but somehow they leave out the woman who shook the entire Democratic Party. Let's talk about Fannie Lou Hamer, a poor black woman from Mississippi who stepped into a national spotlight and told the raw truth about what was happening to black voters in the South. Her words were so powerful, the President of the United States stopped the live broadcast just to shut her up. So what did she say that had folks so scared? Well, she told the whole country what it was really like to be black and trying to vote in Mississippi. She talked about being beaten in jail, losing everything just for trying to register, and how the system, both local and national, was working overtime to keep people like her silent. And she said it all on live TV in front of the Democratic National Convention. Fannie Lou Hamer was a sharecropper from Mississippi who didn't even know she could vote until she was in her 40s. After trying to register, she was fired, evicted, and beaten so badly in jail she had permanent injuries. But instead of staying quiet, she fought harder. She became one of the most fearless voices in the civil rights movement, and in 1964, she stepped onto the national stage. At the time, Mississippi's Democratic Party sent an all-white delegation to the National Convention, even though black folks made up nearly half the state. So Fannie Lou Hamer and others formed the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party to challenge it. They weren't there for symbolism. They wanted to replace the racist delegation and demand that black voices actually be represented. Fannie Lou was chosen to testify in front of the committee that would decide who got the seats. She sat down and told the truth, how black people in Mississippi were being terrorized for trying to vote, how she was beaten nearly to death while officers watched and laughed, how democracy was being denied to millions of black citizens, and she said it on national TV. Her words were shaking the room and the country, so President Lyndon B. Johnson called an emergency press conference just to cut her off the air. But wait, didn't LBJ support civil rights? Yes, LBJ signed the Civil Rights Act, but politics is messy. The Democratic Party still included powerful Southern segregationists, and Johnson was scared that Fannie Lou's raw truth would expose them and split the party right before the election. So instead of standing behind her, he silenced her. So just because somebody says the right thing in public doesn't mean that they'll stand on it when it really matters. Because when truth starts shaking power, even your own people might try to shut you up to save themselves. After Fannie Lou Hamer's testimony and mounting pressure from civil rights activists, the DRC, including President Lyndon B. Johnson and Vice President Hubert Humphrey, tried to offer a compromise to avoid a full party split. 2 at-large seats, but no votes. No real power, just sit and watch. Fannie Lou Hamer said absolutely not. She didn't come all that way to be a token. Her words, "We didn't come all this way for no 2 seats when all of us is tired." And all of this played out on national TV. Fannie Lou's courage helped push forward the Voting Rights Act of 1965, a law that changed everything for black voters. But her story also reveals something bigger, that both parties have failed us at times. That party loyalty won't save us, only truth and pressure will. Fannie Lou didn't have wealth, she didn't have a title, she had her voice, and it was enough to shake the system. But here's the thing. You won't hear about this much in school. You won't see her in many textbooks because they are still trying to erase her. They are trying to rewrite history just enough to confuse you and to keep you quiet, but we won't let them. So like, comment, and share this story, because when you do, you help keep her voice alive. And subscribe if you want to keep learning the stories they don't want you to know about. We're not just telling history here, we're reclaiming it. Peace.